As the final evacuation flight departed from the Kabul airport, the Taliban fired their guns in the air, celebrating victory after a 20-year-long war. The departure of the U.S. cargo planes marked the end of a massive airlift operation. The hasty and humiliating exit of Washington and its NATO allies took place over a period of 2 weeks. The Western forces evacuated tens of thousands of Afghans. However, hundreds are still left behind in the new Afghanistan, ruled and controlled by the Taliban. The sound of celebratory gunfire was heard across Kabul. This after the Pentagon and Taliban separately confirmed that the final US soldier had left Afghanistan. The Pentagon confirmed that all US military personnel were out of the country now. People heard celebratory gunfire from several Taliban checkpoints. Fighters were cheering while manning security posts in the green zone. Meanwhile, Taliban leader Anas Haqqani took to Twitter and said, "We made history again." The 20-year-long occupation of Afghanistan by the United States and NATO has ended. I am very happy, I'm quoting here actually, I'm very happy that after 20 years of sacrifices and hardships, I have this pride to see this historic moment. Haqqani also urged fighters to avoid celebratory gunfire so as to make sure that no innocent bystanders were hurt. Now, the US Army has released a photo of Major General Chris Donahue, who is the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division. The photo showed Donahue boarding a C-17 transport plane. He became the last US service member to leave the Kabul airport. Ending the 20-year war, the US military has completed its withdrawal from Afghanistan. The withdrawal came before the end of August 31st, which was the actual deadline set by US President Joe Biden. Now, America's war with Afghanistan will be remembered for its colossal failures, unfulfilled promises, and a frantic final exit. The war started and ended with the hardline Islamist Taliban in power. This is the last American soldier to leave Afghanistan. That is Major General Chris Donahue, who is the commanding general of the 82nd Airborne Corps, boarded US Air Force's C-17 on August 30th, ending the US mission in Kabul. Evacuation flights have airlifted more than 123,000 people out of the Kabul airport, yet the Pentagon has admitted that America could not evacuate everyone who wanted to leave. Let's just listen in to the US Marine Corps commander announcing the exit.
I'm here to announce the completion of our withdrawal from Afghanistan and the end of the military mission to evacuate American citizens, third country nationals, and vulnerable Afghans. There's a lot of heartbreak associated with this departure. We did not get everybody out that we wanted to get out. But I think if we'd stayed another 10 days, Louis, we wouldn't have gotten everybody out that we wanted to get out. And there still would have been people who would have been disappointed with that. It's a tough situation.
Now, following the announcement by Pentagon, US President Joe Biden will hold an address today on his decision to extend presence in Afghanistan beyond August 31st. Meanwhile, he has mentioned in his statement that the Taliban has made commitments on safe passage and the world will hold them to their commitments. During the Kabul operations, the United States evacuated more than 5,500 US citizens since flight began on 14th of August. A small number of American citizens have chosen to continue to stay in Afghanistan. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has confirmed that now fewer than 200 Americans remain in Afghanistan who want to leave, and the number of Americans left may be in fact closer to 100 after winding up military drawdown. Blinken has vowed relentless efforts to help Americans and others leave Afghanistan in the coming days. The United States would work with Afghanistan's neighbor to secure their departure either overland or by charter flights once the Kabul airport reopens.
So here's our plan for the days and weeks ahead. First, we built a new team to help lead this new mission. As of today, we've suspended our diplomatic presence in Kabul and transferred our operations to Doha, Qatar, which will soon be formally notified to Congress. Given the uncertain security environment and political situation in Afghanistan, it was the prudent step to take. Second, we will continue our relentless efforts to help Americans, foreign nationals, and Afghans leave Afghanistan if they choose. Of those who self-identified as Americans in Afghanistan who are considering leaving the country, we've thus far received confirmation that about 6,000 have been evacuated or otherwise departed. This number will likely continue to grow as our outreach and arrivals continue.
And talking about the U.S. engagement with the Taliban, Secretary of State Antony Blinken has cleared the United States stance, saying that any legitimacy or support to the Taliban will need to be earned. Washington has suspended its diplomatic presence in Kabul as well and shifted its operations to Qatar. Blinken has called it a new chapter of America's engagement with Afghanistan.
Every step we take will be based not on what a Taliban-led government says, but what it does to live up to its commitments. The Taliban seeks international legitimacy and support. Our message is any legitimacy and any support will have to be earned.
America's longest war has finally come to an end in Afghanistan, and the Taliban has taken control. And our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York for more on this. Let's listen in.
The last plane carrying U.S. forces left Afghanistan on Monday, meeting an August 31st deadline of full U.S. troop withdrawal of what is now Taliban-led Afghanistan, spanning 20 years, 4 U.S. presidencies, and 2,500 troops killed. The immediate reaction here in the United States was mixed, with relief that Americans are finally out after imminent threats by terrorist groups in recent days. Concern also for those who have been left behind. However, one thing is for certain: this is anything but a mission accomplished moment for the commander-in-chief himself, Joe Biden. Perhaps that's why the news was delivered by the Pentagon and not the president himself. Susan Tehrani from New York for WION. World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.